Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? February 2025. What the heck's going on? Let me get this adjusted a little bit. I have a motorized standing desk. I'm not standing. There's another thumbs up. Thank you very much. Looking good, looking good. That's what we like. That's what we like. Another Saturday. We'll see who comes looking in here today. Mostly, let me see what we got right now. X, YouTube, and Facebook. X, YouTube, and Facebook. Of course, like I always say, Facebook, they don't report their live numbers. I don't know why. But when I get finished the stream, there's always 100, 150 people that have watched the stream. So we have hundreds of people here. So has anybody installed 11.0.1, Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 yet? I haven't. I have not. I'm working on a very, very big project, a film that I'm showing on March the first Sunday of March at the Greenbelt Theater, Greenbelt, Maryland. And I don't want to change to 11.0.1. Everything's going smoothly. It's a very, very big project, and I'm not going to do a project without better organization next time. Scale things down. I have too many duplicate projects and stuff, and I'm a little bit, I want to make sure everything's going well. I just spit out a full quality ProRes version this morning that's probably 98% accurate. So I have that as a backup, but I don't want to, this project is, I don't know, 11, 12 terabytes of data. It's too much. I'd like to scale it down. First comment, hello from Jamaica, from Alista. What do you think about Boris FX for Final Cut Pro? Do you think it's a good investment? I don't. It's been a long time since I've done anything with Boris. The last time I did anything with Boris was Final Cut Pro 7. They used to have that free title, Boris Effect, some kind of a 3D, pseudo 3D title for Final Cut Pro 7. Let me just push this down a little bit. So we're expecting an ice storm today on the east coast of the USA. Let's look at the what's going on in the backyard. There's the birds. We feed the birds all winter, of course. We feed them on the driveway, and also we have suet in the bird feeder. There they are. But they eat off the driveway. The squirrels eat off the driveway all winter long. We keep them fed. Now, they're saying we're going to get an ice storm. I'm not sure if that's, I don't know what we're going to get. It's very cold outside. Right now it's only, I can't see with these glasses. They're 34 degrees, which isn't that cold, but it's pretty darn cold. Now, our friends over there in Australia are having their summer. They're probably doing barbecues over there in Australia, but we are in the middle of winter. We've gotten some gigantic storms right around this time in February. Valentine's Day storms, some incredible storms we've gotten in our history of snowstorms. So we're leading right up to that right now, to that time period. There's supposed to be another snow coming in next week. They really can't predict that far in advance. From my experience, they can only predict 24 hours out. 80s here in South Florida. I am jealous that you have 80-degree weather when we're in the middle of winter. However, I'm not jealous of, I like living in Maryland where I live. We get to experience all the seasons now. As I get older, I don't like the winters as much as I used to when I was younger. It's work for me. If it snows, I have to get the snow blower out and I have to snow a big parking lot area. I mean, for where I park for our cars, I have another driveway that goes down behind the house to a big outdoor shed, and I have to snow blow our main driveway out to the road. So I have a lot of snow blowing to do. Hello from Denmark. 11.0.1 did fix the magnetic mask bug. You mean the export to compressor? That bug, I think that's the one you're talking about. I saw that. It had 4 bug fixes, something like that. 4 bug fixes, which we are very appreciative of. Thank you, Final Cut Pro team. Not protein. Final Cut Pro team for fixing those bugs. We appreciate it. Now, what does that mean for the rest of 2025? We got a bug fix in February. So 11.0.2, maybe we'll see something in time for NAB. Don't know for a fact, but I presume at some point we're going to see 11.0.2 before the Creative Summit next fall. That's probably what's going to happen. Probably that's going to be what happens. Is that going to be a feature? I expect features to be introduced in 2025, not just a couple of bug fixes before next year. I expect a feature or 2 or 3. And NAB is a good time. Final Cut Pro team. NAB is a good time because it will get some attention to Final Cut at the biggest video event, audio video event of the year, which is NAB, broadcast, cameras, all kinds of stuff. It's nice when something new comes out around NAB, so it creates some buzz for Final Cut Pro. Otherwise, it's just radio silence at NAB. There's no mention. Nobody talks about Final Cut Pro except for us, of course. Final Cut TV will be there, hopefully covering. I haven't 100% made my mind up yet. I have reservations. We'll have to see how it goes. So what's your experience? Have you found any bugs in 11.0.1 Final Cut Pro? I have not installed it because I didn't experience the bugs that other people were having. I didn't do any exporting of magnetic mask to compressor and the other things. I didn't do any of that. So I'm fairly stable with Final Cut Pro 11. And like I said, I have a theatrical showing coming up. It's about 2 hours. It's a 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes, something like that. And we have an intermission that's built into the file as well. So that'll be at the Greenbelt Theater, first Sunday of March. Greenbelt Theater in Greenbelt, Maryland. So what else is happening? So our friend West Plate has a new plug-in. I haven't got a chance to try it out yet. It's a multicam flattener. Since multicam flattening is not built into Final Cut, he built a multicam flattener plug-in. I think it's $49, something like that. So if that's something that you need, I don't need it right now, although am I working in multicam at this project? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't need it right now, so I'll have to see if I acquire a copy in the future. I think we'll see how that works out. Has anybody else got that multicam flattener from West Plate? He demoed it at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. I filmed a little bit of his presentation. At some point, I might put it up. As we get closer to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit 2025, which I'm going to present. I haven't heard anything. Have not heard anything. Usually I hear behind the scenes stuff in May or June. May, sometimes I hear about what's going on, but I don't report it until Future Media Conferences reports it. I don't jump the gun, but usually I get some information what's going on. So I'm going to presume it's going to be in November 2025, first, second, third week in November. What would you use a multicam flattener for? To basically, you take all the cuts that the multicam has and put them in a timeline. So all the cuts the multicam has cut, and it places the actual cuts in a timeline. It's no longer a multicam. You still have the multicam to go back to, but it's easier, from what I understand, for XML exports like to DaVinci Resolve. You're not exporting a multicam any longer. You're actually exporting the clip information. That's what I understand anyway. Let me just check on one thing real quick. Let me just check on one thing real quick. Hold on 1 second. That's going good right now. Let's check and look at the birds. There's a squirrel back here. Our good old friend, Mr. Squirrel, is eating the bird's feet. He likes it as well. He likes it as well. So we have, let me see what we have right now. Oh, we have more people on YouTube than X. Usually it's the other way around, or both. And who knows how many people on Facebook? I don't know for a fact. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's always appreciated. We like thumbs up. So other than 11.0.1, it's still kind of quiet in the Final Cut Pro community. I haven't seen a lot of, I belong to a dozen Final Cut Pro Facebook groups, and I have the Final Cut Pro community on X, and I haven't seen that much talk about Final Cut Pro 11.0.1. Let's go over there and check while I'm here, just to see in case I missed something. Nope. 11.0.1. Like I said, I have not installed it yet. I'm not going to do it until I get this final version of this video file. By the way, my friend Bradley Olson is giving me some advice on making a DCP. I've never made one before, and this theater requires that we make a DCP for projection. At the Silver Theater in Silver Spring, where we've shown this documentary 2 other times, the theater made the DCP. And then we test it before the showing, of course. This theater requires that we do it, and Bradley says there's a few gotchas. I have DaVinci Resolve Studio, but from what Brad told me, I have to get this software that formats the SSD properly. It's like $200 for a year. I don't know. One thing I don't want any problems with the DCP. Of course, we'll go out and test it ahead of time, but I know that DCPs can be problematic as far as playing them in a given theater. So I'd rather just, Jeff Krulik, my friend, co-producer, co-editor, we're working together on this documentary. Jeff is from Heavy Metal Parking Lot, Ernest Borgnine on the Bus, Led Zeppelin played here, and a bunch of other cultish films. He's good. He's become a good friend of mine. We've been working on this documentary for quite a while. So I just don't want to, I want to spit out a good version, make sure it's good before I do it. I don't have to update. Like I said, I haven't had any problems. The ones reported. The ones that have been reported, I haven't seen them, so I'm not going to update until I get this big project done. So we're supposed to get some snow this afternoon. Well, 1 inch of snow, ice, kind of waiting for it. I think they said, there's Mr. Squirrel, I think they said it's supposed to start this afternoon around 2 o'clock, so we're a little bit early yet. That's what I've heard. So when I did the live stream for the Creative Summit this year, I had some settings that were wrong. I had a Mevo Cam, which is a live streaming, specifically a live streaming camcorder, camera that live streams. That's how I'm getting the outside feed right now. It's in the other room. It's transmitting to Ecamm Live. And I had two settings that were wrong. Number one, I didn't know because they changed. I had to download a Mevo Cam app. And I have to turn the Mevo Cam on my Mac before it would show up in Ecamm Live. That's not the way it used to be. It used to just show up in Ecamm Live. So when I went to the Creative Summit, I had the Ecamm Live camera, and I was trying to get that to work, and I couldn't get it to work, so I just used my trusty old iPhone 16 Pro Max and live streamed with that. I connected to my MacBook Pro to Ecamm Live via continuity camera is what I did. But the Mevo Cam is much better. It's much stronger signal, et cetera. So now I know, hopefully they don't change before the next time we do the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Like I said, I'm presuming it's going to be in November. I'm presuming maybe we'll be back at the Juniper Hotel. It seemed to work out very, very well this time. If they had another hotel for the Creative Summit, as long as everything's in one hotel, we're staying in the one hotel, and the conferences, the sessions are all in the same hotel, that would be fine. But I like the Juniper. I don't know. I heard some ridiculous prices. I think they were talking about, I'm not going to say what the prices that I heard were, but there was a lot of money, like for a gallon of coffee or 2 gallons or whatever the heck that big pot is. A lot of money. I mean, they got to pay the staff and stuff. I understand. They got to keep the hotel running, which I understand. They had Future Media Conferences did a great job this time. We had lunch provided every day. Lunch provided every day, so we didn't have to go anywhere. So they had it, you just stay in a hotel, you don't have to go out and get lunch and then try to get back. They had lunch provided for us every single day. This is at the Creative Summit I'm talking about. Here's our friend I Know Buddy from the X platform. Sorry I'm late. Had another unexpected live stream to watch. Go long. Hey, this is the one you should be paying attention to. I'm not sure what the other one was, but this is the one. Saturday, another Saturday. 102 of these. We've done 102 of these on Saturdays. Almost 2 years. I'm not sure. I guess I started in March. I don't remember. Maybe you can remind me. Thank you very much. So, are you happy that we got a bug fix? I know people were a little bit anxious because we weren't seeing 11.0.1. We weren't seeing that come out. So, are you happy we saw it, but it finally came out? I am, but I haven't installed it yet. It came out on a Monday. 11.0.1 came out on a Monday. So that's something, it's not unheard of. I think that's the 8th Monday we've had a Final Cut Pro update on. Most of the time it's on Thursday, second most on Tuesdays and Mondays. Thursdays are twice as often we have updates on Thursdays. And second most amount of day would be Tuesdays and Mondays. Yeah, that's a good point. Glad to see it didn't require a library update. That's always a bonus. That's always a bonus. Now, I don't know. Well, I presume you can open up your library in 11.0 or 11.1 since it doesn't require a library update. It was mostly a bug fix. It wasn't that much. Let me just go over here real quick. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. So I'll pull this over here. So let's go over here. Let's see where we are. Yeah, there we are. So this is the update. Like you see, I have not updated yet, and I'm not going to now. And these are the bug fixes. Oh, that's interesting. It does not, let me try here. Yeah, there we go. Addresses an issue that caused custom overlays to not be visible in the viewer. Fixes an issue that caused errors when using send a compressor from a timeline that included magnetic mask effects. Let's see if we can get that even bigger. Can we get that even bigger? Nope, that's as big as it goes. Improves reliability of the show horizon command in the viewer and improves performance when pressing and holding the H key to scroll the timeline manually. That's what it does. That's what it does. Let me see if I can get that back up where it belongs. Put it like that, just so I have a screen there. Those are the only 4 things that we know about. I don't know if there's any more to that than those few things. Let me try something here. Let me try something here and see if I can find any more information. I haven't got, no, let me see. Nope, that's it. That is it. February the 3rd, 2025. Released February the 3rd, Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 includes these fixes. That's all we got. That's all we got. The same 4 are listed there. Now, before you update, what do you need to do? This is a quiz. Before you update Final Cut Pro, what do you need to do? You need to back up your current version of Final Cut and any important libraries that you have. All right? If you do that, we'll give you some balloons. Thank you. You get balloons if you remembered to back up your version of Final Cut. I will almost always back up my version of Final Cut before I do an update, especially, like I said, I'm working on an important project right now. Is there any other Final Cut Pro news? Any other Final Cut Pro news? Anything else you want to comment about? Let's see if the birds are out here. I don't see any right now, but usually they know if it's going to snow. Usually they know if it's going to snow. So we'll have to see how that goes. So do you think we're going to see 11.0.2, let's say before the first half of the year, so before like the end of June? Who thinks we're going to see 11.0.2 before the end of June? I do. And then we could see 11.0.3 in the third quarter of the year. And then, of course, 11.1 very likely we'll see at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Nobody says, I back up my libraries when I'm about to convert them. I put each episode in its own library. I do as well. There's no reason not to. Rather than have one gigantic library with a dozen events, you're asking for trouble if something gets corrupted rather than one. I have one library per project. That's what I do. So there's a lot of them, exactly. So I do that. I do one library per project. Let me lock that so that can't go. So did you notice in the graphic what Tim Cook's doing? Tim Cook is saying Final Cut Pro 11.0.2. Is that what he's telling us there? 11.0.2? Could be. Could be. I'd like to meet Tim Cook someday before he moves on in the world of Apple corporate. That would be pretty cool. I've never met Steve Jobs, but I did meet Steve Wozniak. I did indeed meet Steve Wozniak. He was at a Maryland Apple Corps, the local Apple group in Maryland, 25th anniversary of something. I don't know what it was. And he was there for the whole meeting. And I videotaped. I had a little DV cam. Yeah, a little DV cam that I had. And I videotaped his whole talk and everything. And I never put the whole thing up. I put bits and pieces up, but never the whole thing. So sometime I will. So one thing I've noticed, I have this thing called menu meters. Is that what it's called? What is it called? I think it's called menu meters. But one of the neat things about it, if I'm running a process on my Mac Mini Pro that starts to use a lot of CPU cycles, and I am monitoring the temperature. Right now it's 159 degrees, which is fine. Usually it's like 130, so it's a little bit warmer because I'm running Ecamm Live and streaming, and it's recording and streaming and the whole 9 yards. But if it gets up into like the 190s, this is Fahrenheit, or 200s, I'll manually go in and I'll turn the fans on, which is menu meters. I can actually do that. I can manually turn the fans on. Now, this Mac Mini fan is not very loud at all. So I can't hear it right now. It's running at some RPM. I can't hear it right now. But if the temperature gets too hot and I'm watching it, right now it's not. It's 158, which is fine. I can manually turn the fans on, and I really, really like that, rather than automatic and the temperature rises and stuff. I recently gathered all episode libraries and work files to OneDrive, nearly 15 terabytes. That's a lot. That's a lot. I have this one project that is, how much is it? Let me see if I can find that. Oh, I disconnected it. I'm expecting 11.2 instead of 11.0.2. No, you won't see that for a couple of years. You won't see that for a couple of years. Watch what Logic Pro did. Logic Pro a year and a half ago was 11.0. A year later, at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, it was 11.1. It's going to be a year, most likely, between 11.0 and 11.1. We haven't even got 11 point. We're still on 11.0. So we'll see 11.1 probably at the Creative Summit. That'll be, once again, a bigger update, probably. Maybe we'll have text-based editing or an audio mixer, who the heck knows. So I don't expect 11.1. People were incorrectly saying that 11.1 was the update that came out. No, we're 11.0. I've been saying it for months, 11.0.1. We're at 11.0. 11.1 won't come out probably until the Creative Summit in November. That'll be a bigger update. So is anybody else No problem with 11.1, 11.0.1. Like I said, I didn't install it, so I'm not going to comment on that. But I know it fixed the bugs that we had. There's a bird on the squirrel guard. Not sure what kind of bird that is. Finch or sparrow or something. I can't quite see. Can't quite see, but they'll be out there eating before the ice hits. Before the ice hits. I'll change my mind if I encounter a bug in 11.0.1. Well, yeah, I think you would. I'm just going to copy this real quick. I would think you would, but I think we'll see 11.0.2. I'd like to think they might do something for NAB this year. Don't know. They haven't done it for the last 2 years, but, every year's a little different. I did see some friends. We met up. I met with some friends last NAB. Had a breakfast with my friend Brad Olson, Off the Tracks documentary co-editor. We both co-edited that one. And some other people. Some people saw me and saw the Final Cut TV logo on my monopod. And this year I have the new Insta360 Flow 2 Pro gimbal. I'm going to sell my original Insta360 gimbal, and I have the Flow 2 Pro, which is, so far, it's been phenomenal. And I got that new little SSD that clips on here, that Lexar one, wherever the heck it is. That really is nice. So, all righty. Two cats over there. Those are two of our community cats. Over here, let me pull myself right over here. There's one, and there's the other. The orange one is named Sammy Sunshine because he loves the sunshine. And this one belongs to our neighbor. We call him White Paws because he has white paws. I forget what his real name is. But they follow each other around all the time. They're like annoying brothers. They just go between our house and the houses behind us. They don't go out, and we have a road in the front. They don't go out there, so they're pretty safe back here. We have multiple places where cats can go. You had a problem with color corrections not porting automatically. That didn't mention being fixed. I didn't hear about that one. I did not hear about that one. Color corrections not porting automatically. They didn't mention that being fixed. Even fixed a bug on a feature I did not know of, but might be using some time in the future, being the show horizon in viewer command. That's true. So one of the new little things in Final Cut Pro 11 is the ability to move clips up and down in the hierarchy of the timeline in the storylines with keyboard shortcut. I love that. I use that all the time. So you click on the clip that you want, and it's option up arrow or option down arrow to move the clip in the hierarchy of the timeline, rather than clicking on it and dragging it and shift dragging so it doesn't move. No, I'm glad they add that. They also have the vertical zoom feature, which they should have a reverse of that to go back to where it was, because when people press that command and they're all zoomed, it's like Shift F, but it's vertical. They don't know how to get back to where they were. Well, they have the little slider on the Final Cut Pro timeline in the view menu, or the right-hand side, that little slider in the view menu, and you can bring it back down that way. I wish, one of the things it's on my list, individually adjustable lane heights. So I can make some lanes real small, like titles. I don't want big titles. When you add a fade in or fade out at the end, they jump up to a large size. I'd like to be able to individually adjust the lane heights. That would be great. Make things smaller and things bigger. Not all the same. You adjust them all, you adjust none. Yep. So show horizon in viewer command. There was a bug with that. There's some kind of a bug. I don't use that much, so I wasn't overly concerned about it. Not yet. Not yet at this point. So if I go to NAB, would you be following along there on my live streams? Would you be following NAB, or doesn't really concern you unless there's Final Cut Pro news or anything? I don't know of anything. Look, for the last two NABs, it's been AI. Everybody's talking about AI. One person, I forget who it was, somebody said, I said, do you have any AI in your new plugins? Oh, yeah, we sprinkled a little bit. And then Sam Messman said, yeah, it's like a spice. You put a little spice of AI on your products so you can say they're AI. There's been no breakthrough at NAB for AI, not that I've seen anyway. So this will be another AI year at NAB. AI. Now, last year we went to Michael Cioni's Strata event, which was on Saturday night. That was pretty darn cool. He had a real nice event. He had, buffet food being served on trays and drinks and stuff. It was really nice. Very nice event. I always enjoy going to his events if he has them. We haven't seen anything like Faster Together like they used to have. LumaForge they'd put on a Faster Together stage in 2019, which superseded or replaced the Super Meet, because as a matter of fact, let's go over there and see what's going on for the Super Meet. For the last 2 years, there's been a Super Meet. They said they were going to have a Super Meet for the last few years, and they did not. See, it says the same thing again. Now, I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. It says once again, stay tuned. We are looking at holding Super Meet events in 2025. But it doesn't say at NAB. It says Super Meet events in 2025. So have no idea if that's going to be, if there's anything going to be happening, because they've said that for the last 2 years, and neither one of them happened. 2023 or 2024, they didn't have a Super Meet at NAB. Now, Dan had some issues. He talked about publicly, health issues or whatever. I'm not going to go into them here. You can follow him if you want to find out what they were. So we'll have to see what happens for NAB and whether there's going to be a Super Meet. That would be great. I always enjoy his Super Meet events. So the last one was 2022. The last one, 2022. that they had a live event. That's not what I wanted. Here we go, MacBook. The last one they had was April the 25th, 7 to 11 at the Super Meetup. Now, this is my picture. I took that picture. Oh, here we go. Didn't want to do that. Here we go. That's my picture. I took of Dan. At the Super Meet 2022. We haven't had one live since then. So I have to see what happens. See, he says here, Super Meets Meetup 2023 on Monday, April 23. Oh, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. He had some issues. He couldn't make it. So, well, hopefully he can do another one this year. That'd be great. Because otherwise, look, I go to NAB. I want to report live things that I'm interested in. I'm not there to cover the entire NAB. I will go to Blackmagic Design. They have the biggest, most expansive, most professional spot at NAB. So I will go there. And last year I got to talk with Grant Petty, who was on the floor. So we'll see if I can do that again. Just for 5 minutes, we did a little interview with me. So that was a highlight last year. And I got to interview other people as well. Thank you. It's always good. But if you want me to go to NAB, I mean, we'll have to see how that goes. I haven't made my mind up. Reservations are in, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get there this year. I have to see. The more likely if something happens with Final Cut Pro. Now, Faster Together was great. Big stage, LumaForge. It was fantastic. In 2019, the Super Meet in 2022 was really, really good. It's a nice event. There's lots of events. There's probably a dozen different events, parties and stuff that happen in NAB, but I'm mostly interested in Final Cut Pro stuff. I'm also interested in some other things, microphones, other software, Blackmagic Design, absolutely. You know they're going to have some new products to introduce at NAB this year. You know darn well they will. Have to see how that goes. There's some kind of a bird there at the suet feeder. Right there. I can't, there's another one. There they go. We have a few indoor cats, and they like watching the birds at the suet feeder. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Last call. Otherwise, I have things to do. I have to make sure that I have a lot of firewood. When there's going to be an ice event or a snow event, I like getting enough wood in for 2 days so I don't have to go outside. That's what I like. And I have that. I got it this morning. I stocked up. I have enough wood inside. I have individual places that I put 4-foot high stacks of wood, crisscross, if you know how to stack firewood. And I have one out in the foyer. I have 2 of those stacks in the garage. I have a 3rd stack, a 4th stack in the cat room. So I have 4 days of firewood stored inside my house. And I have another 1 or 2 days stored at the actual wood-burning stove. Update, there you go. That's the actual App Store update, but that's not what I wanted to show you. Let me see. What the heck's going on here? I'm going to show you my wood-burning stove. Here we go. This is from this morning. Now, this stove, this fireplace, this wood-burning stove, it's a Buck stove. It gets up to 1,000 degrees internally, the catalyst combustor. Up to 1,000 degrees. This is this morning. I just took a slow motion video of the wood-burning stove. It was cold out this morning. This is my wood-burning stove. I really, really enjoy it. Yes, I do. Being on holiday in Thailand the next 2 weeks, I will not be attending the next 2 live streams, but might look them up afterwards. Absolutely. They're always available. Did you also upgrade the processor on your Mac Mini Pro or only the memory? I upgraded everything but the SSD. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM, the top processor, the top GPU, the top everything but the SSD. I got a 2 terabyte SSD, and right now I'm only using 42% of that. Let me see, what does it say? Yeah, I have so I have a 2 terabyte SSD. This is menu meters. Once again, it tells me that. I have Mac Mini Pro has 1.27 terabytes available. So I've used about 3/4 of a terabyte, and I think I don't have my samples for Logic or my samples for Superior Drummer loaded. I will put them on my 4 terabyte OWC Thunderbolt 5 drive. So I'm using about 3/4 of 1 terabyte of the 2 terabytes. It's exactly what I figured. 1 terabyte wouldn't really have been enough. I mean, barely enough. I wanted to have room, but I wasn't going to pay the 4 terabyte or the 8 terabyte Apple tax on that. There's no way. There's no way. Anything else to report on Final Cut Pro 11.0.1? Like I said, I'm just going to say we're going to get 11.0.2 sometime between now and June. If it comes out before NAB, that would be great because it'll create a little bit of buzz for Final Cut at NAB. If they have a feature, not just a bug fix, has to be a feature. Now, they could put out another bug fix. It could be 11.0.2 and only another bug fix. That could be. Performance increase, they always do that as well. All right. We're going to take a little snapshot of that. And close that up. We got about 100 people watching live between Facebook and YouTube and X. Now, let me see. Let me see what's going on over there in X. I haven't looked at there today. So X, I put up 2 different things. I put up the YouTube link, and then there's also the X stream itself. Both. I guess there must be the X stream somewhere. I'm hoping I can stay on a 1 terabyte SSD should I go for a Mac Mini Pro, but with 48 megabytes of memory, 48 gigabytes of memory, and the faster SoC due to the cost of the SSD. It makes complete sense. If you have to cut costs somewhere, that's what I would do. I would get the 1 terabyte SSD and get the faster 48 gigabytes of memory and the faster chipset. That's exactly what I would do. And like I said, I've had this for 3 or 4 months, and I have 7. I'm only at 0.3. I'm only used 3/4 of 1 terabyte, and I haven't cleaned that up. If I clean it up, I'll get back down to 1/2 of a terabyte. 1/2 of a terabyte. So I've never had a Mac Mini before. This thing is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's just, it's the tiniest little thing. It's like 5 square inches and about this thick. Phenomenal. I just thought I saw a glitch. Glitch. All righty. So I'll be putting out a Final Cut Pro Radio sometime here in February, shortly. In the meantime, we will be here. And don't forget to subscribe over there at the YouTube channel. And our Facebook page, this is the YouTube channel right there, youtube.com @RichardTaylorTV, of course. And then our Facebook group for this broadcast, Facebook group's Final Cut TV Radio. If you want to join in the conversation after one of the chats, you can also keep on commenting on the YouTube channel as well. So if there's not anything else, I am going to head out. I got some other things I got to do. Let's check on the birds one more time. Birds and squirrels, I don't see them anywhere. I do not see them anywhere. It is, what's the temperature? It says I'm supposed to stand. 33 degrees, and I'm not sure. I think the temp's going to be coming down, and we're going to get that ice event today. So thank you, Final Cut Pro Team. Pro Team, not Protein, for getting us 11.0.1. Now, we would not mind having a new feature or two before we get to the summit next year. So whether that's 11.0.2 or 11.0.3 between now and the summit, that's another 8 months, 7 months, something like that at this point. I'm presuming there's going to be another summit. The last one was, I think, was the best one ever because the Final Cut Pro team did a phenomenal job with the presentation. We got to go to Apple Park, and they got a great presentation, the best I think they've ever done. I want 11.1 to have collaborative editing feature. You would have to think that's one of the things that they're working on. Text-based editing, audio mixer, collaborative editing feature. You would have to think that they're working on those 3 big ticket items. Which ones we get in 11.1, we'll have to wait and see. 35.6 degrees Fahrenheit in Denmark. That's cold. That's fairly cold, right? It's cold. It's a little bit warmer than here, but not much. All right, we're going to stay on for one more minute and 15 seconds to make the 60-minute mark, 1 hour mark. If there's anything you want to say to keep me on longer, you have to pipe up now. Otherwise, I'm going to go take care of firewood and relax for the evening. So I went to Pappas restaurant, Pappas, a restaurant in Baltimore yesterday. The best crab cakes, if you're familiar with the Baltimore crab cakes. The best crab cakes. I didn't even eat all mine, so I'm going to have it for dinner tonight. It's apparently, it was very, very popular. It's very popular. Oprah Winfrey talks about it. Pappas, Pappas. I was very impressed. Never been there before. Very impressed. Very impressed. Great service. Lots of professional people there. The food was fantastic. It's right outside of Baltimore, up in Timonium area. All righty. Well, if there's nothing else going on, I want to say to everybody, thumbs up to each one of you, and also to the audience. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in all the time. If I don't see you during the week, which I really don't think I will be, we'll have to see. I have a couple of interviews I have to plan over the next month or so. I'm going to work on a Final Cut Pro Radio, but I'll see you next Saturday right here on Final Cut TV. TV, and coffee. Thank you, each and every one of you, for tuning in today.